Everybody. Happy new week. I hope you are doing well and you've had a nice, restful weekend. I certainly did. Well, not very restful. We are in the midst. Actually, I think we're about 80% done of Mission Declutter, which is what we were talking about last week. We were talking about having, a session now that spring's coming in, or wherever you are, of decluttering and getting rid of the old and making space for the new. So I thought we're still in the midst of all of that, and my head is all about setting up new systems and organizing and getting things, really just, wrapped up, as the year is coming to a close. And also we have some plans on, heading up to our Queensland home for 3 months. So we just kind of want to leave everything sort of perfect for when we come back. And so I thought today would be fitting to talk about the other declutter rather than just the physical stuff. By the way, in the garage is this whole corner that's building up of bags and stuff like that. But we're going to talk about electronic or digital decluttering, because we are actually, what I've noticed over the years is that we certainly have a lot of physical stuff that we need to declutter, but it's getting less and less because we're not dealing with as many papers. Good morning, Megan. We're not dealing with as many papers or printing and things like that, and I've just noticed there's just a lot less stuff, because we're doing most of our work, shopping, all that kind of stuff. Good morning, Leslie, on online. But with that comes a lot of emails that are coming in, computer files. I mean, for those of you who listen to me, who watch me, who follow me, learn from me, you would know, and you're writing your books, and there's a lot of files and that build up in our computers that we need to deal with. We're living in the electronic age, and more digital declutter comes through as a result. Hey, Vivi, nice to see you as well. I've got my Monday morning makeup dress, so I haven't worn this dress for a long, long time, because if I'm ever 2 or 3 kilos heavier, I don't fit into it. It really is hard to breathe. But since we did recently the detox, I can fit into this dress. So I can make use of it. Good morning, Janine. All right, so just an update. We had a full-on weekend. You wouldn't believe it. I haven't been doing 10,000 steps because I don't like going for walks. I do my full on exercise and all that sort of stuff. And it was funny, on the weekend, just decluttering around the house. On Saturday, I did 11,500 steps, and on Sunday, I didn't think I would hit it. And I was at about 5.5 by 2 o'clock, but I got over 10,000 also yesterday on Sunday. So if you declutter your house, guess what? You will get your exercise done as well, and certainly sweated up a storm doing some of the stuff. Good morning. Lots of riding on the weekend. Great. Well, I was just like lots of moving around, up and down, move this there, move that there. It's amazing how stuff gets to be in different places of the house, and then that's where the steps add up. It's like, oh, I've got to take that. That doesn't live here. It's got to live there, and all that kind of stuff. Good morning, Teloa and Danielle. Okay, so we finished absolutely everything. There's only 2 tasks left on our mission declutter sheet. I've left it on the fridge, but it's the pantry, which I'm waiting for some new storage containers to come in so we can do that on Saturday, and the garage. They're the only 2 spots that are left. Obviously, everything's been kind of moving towards the garage, and that's the very last area. So today we're going to talk about digital declutter, and I did start doing a bit of this during the week last week. So what I like to do when it comes to digital decluttering is not to way too much all at once, like sit down for a day to do it. It's just so annoying, and it's not something that you can do like physical decluttering. We can do, I've been doing about 4 hours a day, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 4 hours a day, and that's 16 hours. That's the full house bar, the pantry, and the garage. And I reckon, so I would have to say, in 20 hours of work, I think our whole house gets done. If you want specifics and numbers, how long it takes. Of course, we're more we do this once a year. I think double that if you are doing it for the very first time. Okay, I'm sorry to tell you that. Okay, so with digital decluttering, it has to be kind of done more regularly, but in smaller little chunks, maybe like 15-minute blocks, yeah, but consistently, right? And sometimes you might do, so I would do it regularly, like weekly. I'm always like clearing stuff off my desktop. I don't like anything on my desktop. So we're going to talk about a few different areas. We're going to talk about the desktop. We're going to talk about the email folders. We're going to talk about your Dropbox or your wherever you store your files. I'm just going to look here. And yeah, those are the three key areas. And I'm going to talk about what kind of options and how to make sure, because the last thing you want to do is have everything really cluttered, and therefore your computer runs really, really slow. Okay, and that's what happened actually last week or the week before. Vivi rang me and she said, Nat, my Dropbox is not syncing. And I'm like going, what? And she goes, it's like got 2 gigabytes left on this computer and all this sort of stuff. So then I had to work out actually what we realized. And I don't know if you guys use Dropbox, but Dropbox has this function called Smart Sync. Smart Sync. And what Smart Sync means is that you don't have to sync up all your files on to live on your computer. They can be sunk into the cloud, and therefore they don't take up space on your computer. Because Dropboxes nowadays can be as big as 2 terabytes, and if not bigger, and that you don't have that much space on your computer. But what I realized on all of our computers, our Smart Sync was not actually smart syncing. It was still taking up all of the space. So we actually researched and worked out that there was in the preferences area where you had to turn something on and da da da. And we went off and like kind of reorganized that to make sure that that is working. And what happened was, overnight, literally, we all had like 200 gigabytes back on our computers because we weren't syncing, like we didn't need some of the folders, some personal folders, some stuff that is maybe archived, but you need, but you don't need. Yeah. And so we worked that. So make sure if you do use a Dropbox, if you haven't um, figured out this function, it is available, especially when you get to lots of files and intellectual property and things like that, that you're syncing part of your files that you don't look at very often or frequently just to the cloud. Because the reality is, if you need to use it, you can still see it's there on the computer. You just click it and it just downloads, and that's all that needs to happen. Yeah. And so that's how we freed up and fixed up our computers. But on top of that, I thought, well, yeah, that's all well and good. But the thing is, I don't want every single file that's in this whole Dropbox, right? And I need to get rid of some outdated systems, things that were important in the past, but they're no longer important. And I need to delete stuff off. So then I set myself kind of a challenge to do 15 minutes a day. So just go sit through and just look through a folder, because a folder can have a subfolder and some more subfolders and all that sort of stuff. There's some big ones and there's some that don't have a lot. So I sat through and I just went through bit by bit and deleted actual files fully off the cloud, off everywhere, just got rid of them completely. Okay, so 15 minutes a day, really, really important. Now, with emails, desktop, always, always clean. I don't know about you guys, but when you see, I've got another computer here. So I'm gonna just show you, because this is the same thing that happens on this computer. So this is my desktop. I like to put my logo on there. It's nice and black and it shows everything. But there's only one folder here, one file here on the screen. And actually, it's the same thing on this computer that I'm on right now. I don't know if you've seen, or maybe you're guilty of this, but I have seen people with this covered, absolutely covered with like files upon files upon files upon files, and it is really, really annoying. Actually, I might be able to show you guys what I mean when it looks like it's smart sand. So let me see if I can make this bigger and show you on the computer. So for example, this is what our Dropbox looks like, and I don't know how clearly you can see it, but there's the one that's at the top, the folder, it's ticked green, like, so that's the one that's already lives on the computer and you can access immediately. Some of the other ones you can see they're almost gray, or they've got like a little cloud next to them, and that means they don't live like on the computer, they live up in the up in the cloud, wherever that cloud is. Now what we had to fix, so this is you're dropping down your Dropbox at the top, and you go into obviously your preferences, And in here, in the preferences, there is a thing called sync. It's the blue button here. So I'm just going to press it. And in here, we had to like turn it on, like down there. You had to turn it on. And you could also choose folders that you didn't want to see as well. And you can see here some I've ticked that I want to see and some I have unticked. So I don't want to see them because I don't need to like be searching through lots of folders. So that's what fixed that part. Now, so moving on to emails. So moving on to emails, really, really, really important. If you want to be on top of everything, is that you get to the habit of having a Dropbox, Dropbox, inbox zero. Inbox zero is our style, Monday through to Friday. Of course, on the weekends, we don't answer. We're off. So we file emails into the appropriate folders to be addressed on Monday morning. So for example, if you looked at my inbox right now, I've just opened my email account. That's it. It says finished for the day, and you get a beautiful hot air balloon that's sitting there. Now, of course, it's not that's our main inbox. But for example, there are some emails. So we've got like all of our people, and we've got pending for Julie, pending for Lenty, pending for Nat, pending for publishing, pending for Stu, and pending for Viv. So they're all the different areas in mine. There's 4 or 5 I need to do. So obviously it's Monday morning, and there's probably about 5 or 10 emails, but everyone's got their email accordingly. Now we don't like to have too many different email accounts. That's why we have the pending folders. So whoever is responsible for that thing, it'll get the email filed away into their pending, and they'll address it that everyone's responsible for their pending to be, of course, at 0 at the end of each working day. And there's never, and by the end of the week, they're like everything is absolutely empty. Of course, you're running a business, so there's always flow of things that are happening. But in the main inbox, okay, well, there's nothing there. Everyone's doing their work, and therefore, we'll keep going that way. Yeah. So really, really important to utilize email folders. Yeah, because you don't always need absolutely everything. But you might need to store it. So, for example, electronic invoices, I've got like the different years. These are the folders, and the most current years at the top, and then the last 6 or 7 years where I filed away electronic invoices from companies, people that I need to pay, and all that kind of stuff that are coming through get filed away. So I've got different folders where I'm storing templates as well. So I've got templates at the top. That's my most frequently used one, where I've got templates for emails for half days, new clients, sales, online course, publishing emails. So all of the different templated emails that we're constantly sending, so we don't have to rewrite them. Please don't rewrite the same thing over and over again. If you know you have written it twice and it's like going, oh my God, you're going to get RSI. Make sure that you write yourself templates, and of course, over time, check through your templates and update them. We do update them all the time and replace them. So to make sure that what we're sending through is up to scratch and the latest system. Good morning, Jules and Mandy. Nice to see you. Okay, so really, really important to utilize those folders. But however, it's very easy to slide things into folders, and then it's kind of goes, oh yeah, I can't see it in the inbox, right? But it's really important, just like the Dropbox, where you're going through, your documents and seeing what files are outdated. I did that 15-minute, basically, electronic declutter session, was to go through each of those folders and see. Obviously, in the invoices ones, there's nothing to delete, but in some of the other ones, there is things that are really old, and I really don't need to ever look at them again. So I got rid of some folders that I no longer use, and some emails that were filed away at the time when they were important, but they're no longer important now. So again, I'll go through those. So I've got like main folders and then subfolders to those that match up. So invoices is a main folder, and then invoices June 2020 to July 2020 to June 21, July 2019 to June 2020, and it goes through those areas there. So really, 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 that's that. I've only got two email addresses. I've got my personal one, and we've got the overall business one, and I've got a Yahoo one that's like, my personal one for business. I mean, I've got a Yahoo one, which is where I subscribe into things, where I buy, like, just a completely separate from any of my branding and all that kind of stuff, where I do things. And that's and that one I deal through on my phone. I don't have it set up on this computer. And Stuart's got his own one, and that's it. The whole business uses those 2 3 email accounts. And we don't have like sales and finance or customer, like, you know what I mean, like, we don't have a ton of them. That's how we keep it simple and decluttered. And we just file things away to the appropriate person's pending folder, and they'll address it on the next business day. Okay, so I've covered off, guys, for you Dropbox Smart Sync, and I've shown you what kind of preference, what you need to do to fix up your preferences to make sure it is syncing properly if you're using it. We talked about the desktop being decluttered. So what I suggest is, I know you sometimes frequently need to use folders, but put stuff on your desktop as you need to do it. But at the end of every day, just get rid of what you've put there, or put it away where it needs to go. Like, it's like taking a pen out of the drawer when I'm using it throughout the day. But at the end of the day, when I pack up my office, I'll pack up my planner, I'll pack up my pen, my little mirror here. I was putting lip gloss before. There's a few things like hanging around that I'm needing to use it throughout the day. But at the end of the day, everything gets packed away, put it in its little slot, its little system, and then tomorrow we start again, right? So that's my suggestion around the desktop, is having the actual other bits and pieces put away in their own little compartments when you finish up for the day, and empty your bin. Yeah. So that's another little thing that I'm constantly, empty the trash bin where I've chucked away stuff. And even sometimes I empty it, not very often, but probably downloads once a week, a bin once a day, and just tidy up the desktop. Or if at least you do this once a week, then everything just stays out of the way and your computer's working as effectively as possible. Okay, so I've done email folders for you. We've talked about those. Decluttering the Dropbox, so 15-minute slots for the electronic declutter portions, not too much. Obviously 15-minute slots if you want to just go through it over a couple of week period, right? Not all of the time. I'm not talking about every other week, or whatever it is. Or you could make it a thing, 15 minutes every week, and you'll stay on top of it. But if you want to like get on top of it first, you might do 15 minutes a day over 10 days. And then once you're on top of it, do 15 minutes a week, and then you'll stay on top of it always. Okay, 15 to 20, yeah, hard drive. Okay, so with videos and photos, I know you can store them on Dropbox and sync them and smart sync them and not have them take up room on your computer. But I do prefer to store them on my hard drives. Yeah, so I've got my little hard drives where my photos and videos kind of go. And that's where I kind of back them up and all, because they're big files. And yeah, I just don't want my Dropbox to have absolutely everything, but it's probably not a bad idea now with the power of Smart Sync to even have them on there. But hard drives are a great idea as backup. What happens if Dropbox falls apart one day? So it's a really great idea to have a second backup, which is, of course, you can do it once every 3 or 6 months, where you back up your whole computer onto a hard drive, and then if anything in the cloud goes wrong, then you can still have not lost your information. Okay, so that's probably a really, really great thing to do, which I have been doing. As you can see, I've got a couple of hard drives there where I back up my latest information, and yeah, every 3 to 6 months. Okay, so let me give you some tips of what I have discovered. So out of my experience the last 7 days, I did this year, it was about get improving and getting even better, but also I've been setting aside double ups for the Queensland house, and it's been great. I actually packed up a whole suitcase from doing what I did the last 7 days, you know, a spare hammer, or some tools, you know, that we have, you know, kind of doubles up in the house, you know, in the clothes, in the toiletries, all that sort of stuff. It's been great because as I'm going through, I'm going, oh, this is for the Queensland house. It's been fantastic. But it was also about like even getting better at and seeing more of my stuff. You know, because I noticed I was putting stuff in containers and having it, you know, put away and putting little labels in terms of what was there, but I still wasn't using as many of the things that were inside those, you know, opaque containers. So what I've learned this time around, and I did invest in some clear container storage. One of the best ones I bought for this, and what I've seen that I've used so much of, are the 10 and 20 litre boxes from Officeworks. If you look them up, the 10-litre ones come in a pack of 6, and the 20-litre ones in a pack of 4. I have actually used a lot more of the 10-litre ones, so they're like about this tall. They fit in really nicely on top of cupboards, and they're not too heavy in the, at the end when you know, depending on what you fill them up with. But I know we've used them all over, in every single room. They've come in super handy. The 20-litre ones are a bit taller, so if you have like a little space at the top of a cupboard, they might not fit in, which is what happened in ours. But we've still utilized those ones. But I suggest, like, I bought lots of the 10-litre ones, and I've actually bought one more one more lot, so I can utilize those. But clear see-through stuff, then I actually don't feel the need to label them because I can actually see what it's in there, and because they're in the cupboards, they're still closed and out of sight. Okay, so that's been something that I've realized, and I'm going to take the opaque ones, and I'll do when I do my garage, and I'll do sort of things over there, so I'm not wasting and reutilizing the plastic in a different way. Yeah, so labeling stuff is works amazing, and I've had my Dymo labeler for uh, forever, and just investing one of those for $30 or $40 in the labeling where things go, especially like we purchased from IKEA under bed storage for Judd's room, and they're these boxes that are really long and sort of wide, and then they have these lids that open halfway, so one side comes up and the other side. And so I've been able to help my son organize his Lego in one box, his wrestlers in another box, his shooting gun stuff in another box, and 4 boxes fit under his bed. And now actually he doesn't no longer have his little chest toy box. He has 4 boxes neatly organized under the bed, and they have the labels on top of them, and those are really good, and they were really inexpensive, but fit so much, amazing. And I can see the kids already refreshed and re-energized playing with their toys because they can see them all, and they're really well you know, set up and stuff. So under bed storage, if your bed fits it. So please, whatever you do, if you're gonna go, measure how much gap there might be under your bed, and when you are buying the boxes that you see, because we wanted to use one of them in the girls' room, and their bed was teeny, like a 1 centimeter too low, that it didn't fit one of those boxes. So we ended up using all 4 in Judd's, which fitted in anyway. That's how many we got. So that's something that I've learned. Small dividers for drawers. I was just wondering if I've got one of the new ones here, but IKEA had these, not in these drawers here. Oh no, I do have one. IKEA had these like little, they're just cardboard boxes, but they come 7, so one's bigger. There's 3 kind of square little ones. This is the long one, the long one that I've used in one of my drawers here. But little containers inside, like especially when it's you know, I've got this one here. I don't know where I got it from, but when it's office stuff or bathroom stuff, I've got this one. I love this one. You can divide, you can change how long the bits are wherever they go. And sunglass boxes. So sunglass boxes are used for pens and things like that. But I love little containers because they keep everything separate and neat. So that's something that, yeah, I've put everywhere, sort of, so it's really easy to put stuff back into their own spots. And the last one, oh yes, so the biggest thing is about addressing your frustrations. Yeah. So whenever you walk past something and you're doing something like, it's like, oh, this has always annoyed me. That's about this mission declutter for us, and hopefully your next one for you is about make sure you implement the new systems and that you address those frustrations. So in the office right next to me, one of the biggest things that annoyed me was the fact that I could not find my lip glosses, or my pens were always in a pens. So I've just done a pens box and a lip gloss box. Yeah, because I always put on my lip gloss just before I go on live or talk to a client or whatever it is. And it was just annoying me that it was kind of everywhere. Now I can just quickly grab a pen when I need to, and then of course choose from all the different lip glosses and lip stuff that is there. So those little things. There was stuff in the kitchen that was like on top of a bench, taking up bench space, and we just kind of lifted up a shelf and made it bigger so it would fit this really big air fryer. And we just look at it and you walk past it and you just get annoyed by it all the time. So they're the kind of things that we went through and address. So make sure that you address your frustrations as you go through your own mission declutter. So I hope that all of this has been valuable. I'm just putting some of my stuff back. And that you're going to go forth and do your electronic declutter. Make it a mission to operate at inbox zero. I have done other lives on Inbox Zero. So if you go to YouTube and just go Natasha Denman Inbox Zero, you'll find another live where I actually just go and talk through emails. A lot about emails, like, because that is one of the things where I think people really get bogged down and they find hard to stay on top of. And one of my biggest tips I'm going to leave you with that I have given other people in the past is that if you have 5,283 emails, or anything over 100 really emails in your inbox, and you have not looked at them or you have not addressed them for the last however long, I usually say, what I suggest is select all and click delete, because of course you're not going to go back through that many emails, and there's stuff you say you're going to go back to but you never do. Just like physical clutter, when we come back to it a year later, you go, oh my God, I said I was going to check this out last year and I didn't. Don't hold on to it. Every year, just get less and less and less. And if there was something super urgent or it needed addressing or someone needed you, guess what they're going to do? They're going to re-email you, or they're going to phone you and say, hey, did you get my email? You can say, sorry, I haven't seen it. Can you please resend it and all that? But if you haven't addressed whatever's coming in the last 7 days, or perhaps just leave in your inbox, put up pending, make a pending folder in emails, select all the ones from the last 7 days, pop them in there, then click delete on all of the rest and put the other ones back or wherever, or deal with them from your pending and start that way. And then you'll be able to, get on top of it. And it's just like brushing your teeth. Brushing your teeth, you do it every single day. You do it twice a day, right? Same thing with emails. You address them in the morning, address them in the afternoon, and get on with your life and keep it at zero. That's how it happens. Even on the weekend, I won't answer them, but I will file, like I'll just, in start of the day, file them away where they need to go, so we know Monday what we need to be doing, but the inbox is zero, and we know what needs to be done once Monday comes around. Okay, I'm gonna go. So I hope this has been valuable. Hey, Luba, delete all would give me a heart attack. Yes, it should give you a heart attack, because it is something that people like really, really get scared about. But the reality is, if you haven't addressed an email that someone needed you for in the last 7 days, you might need to, I know for you, the type of business you're in, you might need to file away where things are. But we need to be on top of our emails every day. That's the nature of our lives nowadays. And if you let it get out of hand, then it just all becomes too hard basket. All right, guys, I'm going to go. Have a wonderful week, whatever you're doing. And it's been beautiful weather, and I'm sure next time I'm going to be speaking to you full mission declutter, electronic, physical, everything will be done and set for another 12 months at our end. All right, have a wonderful week, and I'll talk to you soon. And like always, smash it out.